Hey everyone, it's Alexi here, back with another match review. Let's get started. This match sucked. I hated it. My deck was good though. I liked my deck. I just played it terribly, so we're gonna go look at it and hopefully learn some things. I believe the elo on this match was 2297. I want to say. I can't remember directly, so we're gonna go with that. And if I'm wrong, we'll see at the end of the game. All right, cool. So opener, I had put a plane out on the opener. I just forgot to say it because I just play this deck. We're playing it late at night. So this deck, they had yeah, some things going on in the last game I played. We had one lever and then they just spammed Hellies basically. And so I was expecting them to kind of air spam again, and they kind of did. They put out some things and did some other things. So I'm selecting my media. And my teammate, off the rip, I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, we only have 4 people playing. But he was just nuking, so. Early nukes seem to work a little bit better for RU, but this guy just consistently basically won us the game with a nuke in this game. So. I don't know. This is probably his best nuke, actually. Now I'm looking at him, so. You can see 1480 points there versus the 295 of my fighter that they managed to snipe, I think. Yeah, the 260 of my fighter. And with this, I'm just trying to get my kind of opener up. So this deck's themes is also kind of forest, fight, slog. The Marines are pretty good at like a smaller force, but they don't have the endurance. The Cherny don't have the endurance to fight longer. In this deck, you can bring more in the transports, and you can get stuff to resupply you faster. So I think the Marines are good for taking a. Let me see the suckers there. The Marines are good for taking a point, and by Marines I mean the naval infantry or whatever. They're good for taking the point, and then kind of fighting in the woods, but they need to constantly micromanage in terms of resupply. With this, you can put infantry in, Kamazes, and you can get them to the front quicker, so you can replace your losses quicker, and you don't need to be as thinking man about that. I spoke out the Tunguska here after trying to cheekily snipe the Viper, just because those Bradleys are coming for me, and I'm leaving the Typhoon, which is 35 points, just to give me some vision of when they actually do show up, because I'm kind of blind right now. And then I'm shooting off the Tulpan in case I can get a laze in. And in these Scredgets, I have Trickle Sap Resvecta, so I'm surprised the opening salvo doesn't just straight up kill him, TBH, but whatever. And then I forget that my Tulpan's firing big boy rounds. Try to engage the F-16 if it just flies away. Obviously, it's a short head, it's not gonna kill it. But now my Resvecta Death Squad's gonna go make work of these guys. And I was expecting there to be like combat energies or something in there. There were not. And I low-key saved myself with that Tulpan shot because now I'm able to get my Resvecta, which are all out of ammo except one, to kill the final Bradley. So good timing there. Tulpan saved me. And then just trying to deter that heli. They really want to kill my stuff. I don't know why. They don't like that recon. I think they think it's lasing. But it was not lasing, in fact. So this match, I think I ended with a pretty crappy KD. But KD's not the name of the game here. And I'll kind of demonstrate how, with my little drawings that I like to do, how we managed to systematically win this game at least. And the name of this Charlie point is that you want to control. I'll get my little drawing thing out if I can figure out how to. There we go. So the name of this Charlie point, and I'm going to tell my future self to just stop moving around here. At least how I see it. So enemy has control of these towers. You should have recon or some type of ATGM team in these towers so that you're shooting at thing. And then the real fight is this wood line here. And then depending on how your teammate does, if he's able to get to here, you're probably going to want to supplement these ones a little bit, because when they come in, they can do stuff like this and cut over. You want to be able to stop whoever's controlling this side excuse me, I just closed it. There we go. Whoever's controlling this side to not be able to thrust down your line or put something this way, because your back line's typically going to be on the back here. And so most points come to, but this map specifically, there's no push coming from this side. That's just not an option. ATGMs here will negate that, and whatever they put in here, whether it's tow teams or javelins, they're going to negate that as well. There's typically an apartment building here that kind of can shoot here and gives this side a little bit more credence, but that's not the case because it's been nuked and it's got low health. So the real objective of my enemy is going to be to flood infantry and whatever they can into this forest, and my objective is we're going to snake infantry and try to draw a front line maybe here, and then kind of stop them here until we figure out what my teammate's doing. My main supply depots are going to be back this way, and then maybe one over here as well. So that's kind of my main thinking for this as we're going into it. But again, it's a rapidly evolving situation. So like if there's like 5 Set V3s that come down this, obviously hyperbole, but it can change quickly. But that's the general meta understanding of how this map works, right? And then this is, wide open field over here. This is where their backline's going to be. My backline has more forest, so I'm a little more protected. But and on this, I really don't have to worry about my opponent to the right. If they're getting dog swamp, they're close enough to our spawn that they really have to put all their attention on the right, even if they're winning. And then if they do happen to drive something this way, the ATGM team that we should be putting here, I don't know if we end up doing that for a while, we'll deny that. But even then, there's a theoretical ATGM team. So enough yapping about like the theory of this game, and maybe let's watch the game a little bit more. So. Luckily for you guys, I started the recording late, so it's a little earlier video. And if you do like these videos, leave me a like and comment. I'm doing this at late at night after games, and I don't really want to do like my tax return and other like important things about my life, so I'm just doing this instead, so I can yap and feel good about that. Noticing our opponent's pretty air heavy, but I'm not able to, or I don't buy like the favorite or whatever to deal with that, just because again my backline manager is a little hard. And then I see the javs fly out, and I'm not sure who put the javs there, but all I know is there are javelins now there, and my snipers can't see them, so that leads me to think they're Cav scouts, because if they're Rangers javelin, I should be able to see them. That's my thinking. But I'm just seeing how long range my Tulpan is, and I'm going to put some pain on whatever's in there just to deter them from staying in there, so that my teammate on the right's not going to get menaced by those towers too much. Because with their towers, they're just straight up on the open. Our towers, we have a little bit of blockage, so they don't have a line of sight, and their towers lend more credence to U.S. fire and forget weapons, because like this side of it, even if you try to duck behind the building, unless you get fully behind the building, you're not able to. Something I learned here, it somewhat works, somewhat doesn't, depends. This works better with Comanches and stuff like that. You can put your 2400 vision helicopter on the, and he brings up an IFAV tow as I'm firing my Tulpan, so I just lays it. And then I put 2 rounds into it. I bring the Mi-28 up, and I'm going to turn off the lemurs, because it's just going to fire those at everything. And it's just going to sit there, so if there's any shenaniganery going on my right, I'll see it before I have to worry about it too much. Homeboy on the left has like a Moto Mech forest brawling deck that was doing extremely well, excuse me. This guy gets Bradley's into the forest again much quicker than I anticipated.
And now I'm scrambling for something to deal with that with, because all I have to deal with the anti-tank aspect of that is the... I think I'm just debating where I put my sniper, and then I run into his Bradley, unfortunately. And I forget about snipers for a while afterwards. But I've only got the T-72 to deal with the Bradley, and then of course it's going to have infantry there. And I'm like, oh, I'll get my sniper out of there, but mech riflemen in there. So they're going to shred my Skrzhet, but luckily they attack the Skrzhet first, and then they kill it, and the Bradley smokes out. But I tell my AUG and Yevgeny to attack, and then they just... You see how weird the pathfinding is when I'm just clicking to the left there? And so I have to kind of watch out because I'm driving around. And then I notice there's like 5 fucking javelins coming from the towers over there. I'm like, I need to deal with those. So managed to kill the Bradley. I don't know if he reloaded the infantry or what the fuck happened there, but they are not in the forest as far as I can tell. And then I dumped a Cornet MT mount, so they're going to go sit on the edge there, right, like I was saying, right, they're just gonna watch and deter. So, and then I'm running. I need to just sit it on supplies if I put it in the back line, but it's kind of iffy because these guys were pretty on top of their Arty game. But I'm running the 2-shot S300 with 4,500 range, just because I notice I don't end up using the radar on these a lot, because it's a lot of micro for me to turn on and off radar, and then I lose an expensive aid. So instead, I'm running these larger missiles that have a bit more oomph to them, and they can fly a bit longer, and hopefully they can kill what I need them to kill. And so 2 Tulpans are coming up, and those guys are just going to be good kind of nuisance the enemy for the rest of the game. They might not be able to kill like a whole lot, but they're able to at least blow up things and keep the enemy at bay. And then I'm telling my guys to rearm. And honestly, like in terms of how this game is going so far, right, I seem to be doing pretty well. The thing I'm lacking here, and I don't really notice it, so I've got 2 Resveka teams. I'm sending one into the forest over there. And the other one, that's my only AT, right? So bring up some VDV DSH to supplement that. And then I'm like, oh, I'll bring a Strela out. We love Strelas. 80-point Strela. I think it's meta. No, I'm joking. But 80-point Strela, I actually really enjoy it. It can kill things. And it's 80 points. It's a really cheap short ride option, so it's just something to deter. Again, a lot of this game's about deterrence. If you can mentally get in someone's mind about, like, and then use the cheapest thing to deter someone is how you can win games, right? These tanks are going to deter him from just running, like, infantry straight in across a field or something like that, even if it's like a 150-point tank. It's still going to deter him until he gets the rock, paper, scissors solution to deal with that. And I bring my Tulpans up, and they're not firing in sequence, and I just want both of them to hit at the same time, because then he doesn't have to see it. And then we're leaving. I just want to kill whatever's in there, hopefully. And I managed to kill something, so good for me. And then I'm like, oh, let's fucking try to blow the building up, and that's kind of my goal. And then only one of them fires. I don't really care. I'm just like pew pew pew. And this guy starts launching HIMARS and ballistic missiles everywhere. Luckily, I had just moved my Tulpans because he was quick with that counter gutter. And then I'm like, where the fuck is this S300 shooting at? And it shoots to the left. So one taps that. Yay. And my tank that I don't know what I was doing with this tank. I was trying to extend it out, maybe just to see how far his backline was going, but I really should have just found a truck full of infantry to do that, because it's a 150-point tank, and it shouldn't be dying like this. And I go, okay, well, we're running away from the tank, and then I run into whatever the fuck this is. 4 Cav Scouts. Yeah, no, we're deleting that. 4 Cav Scouts is crazy. You can see them just launching Doom missiles at everything. And I'm kind of notifying my teammates that there's a lot of Cav Scouts there, but they don't listen to me. I think I was the only one typing all game. But it's fine. It's like 2 a.m., so they're probably all speaking English as a second language. And we should probably just ban them from NA servers, to be honest. They shouldn't be allowed to play on my servers and share the same error as me, you know, if they can't speak English. But, no, I'm just kidding. And then I'm like, wow, I'd really like to laze that sap, but no joy. So, and then blazing the tower, no joy there. I don't know if the Cav Scouts actually are even taking any damage here, or if they're swapping between the buildings or hiding behind the buildings. I should have just destructed these towers at the start. I didn't. 4 times Cav Scouts there is crazy, though. I don't know. There must be a supply depot behind it, right? You can't be running 4 times Cav Scouts there and not have a supply depot. And I'm just kind of launching my tulpans and moving them, so just 1 barrage each, because I have a feeling this guy wants to kill tulpans. So. And he's killing my team boys, homeboys tulpans on the right. A theme you'll see this game again is me using air terribly. It's too air. A lot of, especially Russian air is micro intensive. The SU-34, if you want your plane to live, you want to micro it, right? Same with the SU-30. SU-57, it's stealth, so it's got a little bit more. And then I see this giant push coming, so I think it's 2x 4-con CQC, 2x mech engineers, mech riflemen. Maybe they're not 4-con CQC. Let's see. I don't remember. And I've got, you know, less than half of the points. They are 4-con CQC. Less than half the points. Just crappy infantry, like the VDV infantry. So, but the bombing run, very helpful here. So we're gonna go avenge myself. And I just pushed my infantry up to try and kill it at me.
And I don't know what we nuked on the left side, but it seems to be the phase just started and we got 1,700 points in kills. I mean, my bombing run was looked decent as well. And now they're bombing my BRM-3K. I don't know if they think it's lasing. I don't know why they... I guess it's just a target for them to Arty, but...
And I see these, I think they're going for my tulpans. No, they're going for my Strela, and they're lasing on my Strela. I don't know what is lasing me, but something. Maybe they got snipers behind me to my right, or something like that. But I wasn't very pleased that my 80-point Strela died, because it's an 80-point Strela, man. Leave it alone. Please. Don't do this to me. And now we're just kind of in a holding pattern. Right? My enemy doesn't really want to do a lot. Because I've demonstrated twice now that I can, and I'm trying to see if I can hop the laser maybe with the nope, no joy. Collapse the tower with whatever was in there. Maybe the snipers that were lasing there. And then he fucking sees my BRM again, and I'm like, oh god. But I think he just predicted where it went. I don't know if he's looking for a supply depot or what, and I try to laze this, and that's no good, so I laze the other tower. Don't collapse it, but still do damage in case there are Cav Scouts there. And then just moving things around, because they're playing Arty heavy.
Okay, my teammates kind of won the game here, right? I did my job. I held C and made it so that they can just devote resources somewhere else because they needed to fight me. But I feel like I probably could have helped my teammates a little bit more. And I'm just evaluating paths of ballistic missiles to make sure they're not hitting anything important. I think one's going for my old S300. Now here, you'll see me get tilted in a little bit. Comment down below if you think the tilt that I'm about to have is justified. And that only does half damage, so I'm coming to finish the job with the plane that I was using to check for sentinel anyways. If we can kill these, it makes their seed harder to get, and it helps us. So we're kind of murdering them in points right now, 4,000 to 1,000. But the phase is young, right? And if I lose this plane, it's going to be 260 down. And I noticed my S300 have been stationary, and I see these two helicopters, right, hovering over. This one's over my supply depot, and these guys have been catty with the Arty, so I know that they're probably gonna kill the Arty point. And I'm like, hey, bro, you need to move this, but I don't actually tell him that. I think I typed Burrell after it dies. But annoying stuff, right? I don't care if you're using my stuff for resupply, but it just, if they see it, they can kill it, right? And now they're walking, I think it's explosions. Yeah. Cluster already up, they kill one thing in there. And then I see these two Set V3s. It's a Set V2 and a Set V3 trophy. Sorry, just an M1A2 Set. An M1A2 Set V2 or 3. One of those two. I'm trying to draw the bomb right, and then I see these Bradleys coming in. I'm not ready to bomb these instead. Again, micro intensive with the planes, right? This guy, if you draw that bomber in too early, he gets sniped. I think I should get him. They must be low health because of that. But these guys are going to be a problem. I've got Bradleys coming in, my AT infantry's all half health. So, yeah, no bueno. I'm aiming this meteorite. It's like the assault breacher, but with less range and less health. And I think what must have happened is my S300 must have fired from that supply depot, because it was a while before. But I'm malding anyways, right? I'm malding about my supply depot dying and my S300 dying with it. So. My S300 must have just shot a shot from there and made it a bad day. Here, what I should have done is pulled all my infantry back. If I'm going to pull my 2 AT infantry back, I know there's a lot of AT, or bad things attacking me, and I need to deal with them. So instead, I'm like playing this pussyfoot game where I'm like, oh, I don't know, and then all my shit gets fucked. Bring the arena up, and then I decide my AT infantry doesn't need to actually fight. Kill something with the meteorite, luckily. And then I'm like, it's like, oh, those guys are able to snipe Bradley, and I've got thermobaric Sturmoviki to come in and hopefully clean up some of this mess I've got. They take forever to get within thermobaric range. So, and then the 2 fucking tanks come in, and I'm like, oh, I don't have a bomber. And then I'm like, oh, I'll kill the Arty. I don't know why the fuck I did this. What I should have done is sold that and bought more shit to replace what I'm losing. So the plane, sometimes I like playing with the planes, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, I'll get this one. Up, and then I see the Striker RV, that's like 185 points. Okay, get that one too. And then I was after running too much, and none of these shots miss or fire. So you gotta kind of time it, right? And now all my infantry needs to leave, right? They need to go. There's 2 tanks in that forest. Everything needs to leave until we can deal with it. And dealing with it is going to be whatever I decide to bring in. Luckily here, my 1 tank here, I don't know what I'm pinging. I think I'm just panicking a little bit. My T-72 B3 is able to scare the Bucker away, so we can't kill everything. Otherwise, I think you have to kill just everything with a Bucker. Because I know there's 2 tanks in there still, so I can't chase that Bucker, right? There's at least some type of infantry in there. So I need to just kind of R&R and refit. And so I've still got the snipers over here. Still got the helicopter that's giving me recon, but it's wasting shots, which is not good. I mean, it's damaging these Moz teams, which is probably good for my teammate on the right, but it's not good for how we're playing, right? So bring up the Kamazas just to resupply and refit my guys. 4.73 KD. I'm checking it. I'm like, doing pretty badly. But most of that's just from my plane losses at this point. Like, most of these encounters, besides the last one, we've won or traded pretty equally, so. Regardless of that, I'm just looking to see what he's artying. I think he's just artying my tank, yeah. Doesn't have a laser on it, luckily, so I'm able to get it out of there because it's a smaller burst. And he thought it was still an entry line. So, tank's able to go R&R. I move my meteorite just in case, and meteorite's able to stay alive. My homeboy on the left's doing excellent, which is probably why that Booker came in on my right, because he saw his teammate was making progress, and if you can't make something work right, just start throwing shit at the wall until you see what sticks. Now, that's kind of how if you can't, like, if the enemy's overmatching you on a point, and their infantry is just like a hard counter your infantry or what have you, sometimes you gotta change up your strategy, you gotta change up how you're going to approach it, right? Like, the Bradleys coming in, they keep coming in. The CFEs are pretty good in the woods because they can see me, but no, the Bradleys didn't really work for him, especially because I'm just spamming tanks, right, to counter those Bradleys. I know I've got infantry that can, at least with thermo barracks, be able to beat him. So, and now I've got a bunch of tanks here. So, and then I bring up the DSH squads because with the Bradleys as well, I can just use Bradleys with those. So. And then I bring up the Karabitska. I order it, at least. And I'm like, as I'm ordering it, I'm like thinking, oh wow, these are going to go down. And those are my Hornets. It's so fucked up. But to be fair, I was artying his triple cap scout stack, so you'll win some, you lose some. Homeboy here is artying my line, and I forget how to delete lasers. Unfortunately. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to be cheeky. Tolpan helicopter. I aimed the Tolpans a little long, otherwise they would have gone in. So. Also, I legit think these probably should have hit the helicopter just based on the flight path, but. No dice. No dice. And then he notices, and he's like, something's lasing me, so. Those snipers are good with that laser, man. Look at that. That's a steady hand they got right there. Homeboy at B, he's doing alright. And then the SHORAD that I was just looking at trying to laze kills my helicopter. Predictable? Yes. Retarded? Also yes. And now the tank squad's moving to the left, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I assumed he would hold these trees, but I think he's just using it as a strike group to help homeboy Pink stabilize. And my teammate's got like, what is that, 4? So he's got 2 SSO, which I'm assuming are close range SSO. 2 GRU, maybe AT. And I'm trying to kill this helicopter again. And then the other shit, and here the helicopter can just see me through the forest because these CFEs are seeing me, and I can't smoke up to get out. So both these tanks go on low health. They don't die, I don't think, but they go on low health. And I'm like, I'm gonna get you back, helicopter. Maybe I should be using the Pantsir or the Tunguska, and yeah, he loses. So. Luckily, these Artys are just pretty light, and they don't kill my tanks. And at this point, I was thinking, he moved that helicopter like really quickly after I brought my Tolpans up and started aiming them. And so I'm like, there might be a Sentinel, but because like that helicopter was stationary for a second and it was killing things, and then it left. It didn't seem right to me. So I wanted to check for a Sentinel. I don't think there was, but he could have just been reacting because he didn't want to get shot or what have you. But I wanted to check for Sentinel, and that's why I brought the plane out. So that was my thinking there.
Meteorite, I can't help pre-aim anything, so it's got too short of a range. It's kind of more of a assault breacher type, but again, it doesn't have the range for it. So, this guy says Mark, and I'm looking to see if he needs me to do anything. Nope, he doesn't. And my plane takes some damage, and we're almost at 3 for a score, so I decide I'm going to sell it so that I don't lose it. Yeah, overall this game, whoever's on the right, they're doing pretty well. You can see them running down their paladins with BMP3 there. And then this guy, he's seeing things that are good targets for his Arty. It's just a one target, I guess, and he kills it. A little annoying. But again, that's not really having much game impact, right? That Caravanserai would be nice to have, but it's not having the most game impact. Besides being annoying to me and making me reassess what I want to own. If that had come and then there had been like a push from, over here, it would have been a little better. Like this or something like that, I don't know. Or even just like an armored column drive down like this way. It would have been much better. And then we nuke him again. They get more kills just on the seed, I think. Yeah. So, nuke each phase, and then they're commenting on how bad the nuke was. I don't know. If you're gonna nuke, it works, especially at start of phase, because you can just buy things. So. And then the Malkas get sniped by the Arty. So the enemy's playing Arty heavy here, but I don't know. If we're playing Arty heavy, they should be. You can't be, you can't be at 9, not 9 down at the at phase 2, right? You can't be playing Arty, all this Arty. They have a lot of Arty, 9 down or 8 down, and then Sep V3's coming here, or I think it's one M1A2 Sep and one Sep V3. VDV DSH in the forest, man. Especially if they're on your sides a little bit. So like I put them in these trucks so that they have to drive a little bit through them before they get there. They can do some damage, man. Look at this. That's 4 rocket launchers right there. They get 1 lucky shot off on whatever this is. And then whatever other tank this is gets shredded, man. So 2 big armor groups just died in those woods because he had no infantry cover. The CFVs are late. I don't know what his plan was with those, but certainly was not what he needed at that point, right? He had built some momentum, and then instead of stocking infantry in there, which, I mean, his infantry was losing to mine pretty heavily when we would fight, but instead of stocking infantry in there and just getting a stronghold, he pushed armor unsupported. So. Armor and woods unsupported is kind of a last-ditch effort. You don't want to do it if you don't have to. And I notice there's either Cap Scouts up or our team's still up, so I'm trying to get my eyes back up because I need to. They look like Cap Scouts. I need to see things so that I know what's coming and I can kind of counter it. Because I've got all these tanks stashed in the woods, right? I think I've got like 4 tanks stashed in the woods at this point. I just need to see where the enemy tanks are coming, and then I can laser my tulpans and things like that. And then here I didn't even notice I double snipered it, which is actually very helpful at the end of the game. So send one over this way, and send one over here. And then what I'm doing with the Typhoon VDV is it's distraction area, right? So I always assume they've seen me. And then if I click that Typhoon VDV out, they might see it leaving and then realize there's a sniper somewhere. But here I'm able to, and my mind game here is that I'm going to send the Typhoon VDV over to a spot, and then he's going to think there's snipers there. In reality, the snipers are in a completely different spot. So. I'm kind of redoing the Cornet team just because I want to find a different one. And then I also noticed that his supply depot is probably there, just based on where all those low health units went. So. Snipers are going to go verify in a second. And this tow team's shooting at me, and I kind of just moved this BMD out of the way. I don't like it. So.
bringing more DSH up. They're good for forest holds, but again, any like a Marine squad even could probably kill 3 of them. So stacking them is the only way to do some damage. And I only use them because they have a lot of rocket launchers, and they can scare off bookers. They can kill bookers or scare off heavier tanks by doing crits on critical engine components and things like that. Homeboy with the cruise missiles snipes the tow team. So if we wanted to, we could push something across, but again, there's probably Cav Scouts, other dangerous things waiting for me. And also all those killer eggs, I think. Are those killer eggs just in there? Fuck. It's fucked up, dude. Here, I actually execute the plane better, right? I see 2 HIMARS launching. That's not a place where you're going to put on HIMARS normally, so I should have noticed that, and that was probably just where he was firing from. And he's going to move them back to a supply depot. So I should have waited for my recon to get into place a little more, so I could actually use these. And pop them up. Good fire. And no kill. So unfortunate there, but at least the plane flew a little better, so it looked better. Here, I'm looking for where the best recon's going to be. See the paladins moving, and then my sniper on the left seeing the dude's armor come back in. So. Good vision here. And then I finally find the supply depot. I don't have enough backline units to actually deal with that, but my teammates should be able to at least take use of everything like that. So. He's trying to tell me, hey, and I think at this point they had a DC, but I don't know. I'm staging the toll pans in case he gets close enough that I can laze him. And then I noticed he saw me, so I'm trying to get those out, and my teammate's spamming me to laze, and I'm like, oh shoot, my bad, bro. And the only one that's out is the SEP on the side. Double lace. SEP. Pack. Pack goes into radar mode, so I'm going to go lace that, and I'm going to lace the M1A1 HG. We've got really good vision now on yellow, and we've kind of just infiltrated all the way. So. At this point, right, yellow's having to cover D in. Is it C I'm playing over? Yeah, C. And I don't know why. And that bomb is not doing anything, so I was looking for it. But he was laced. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, yellow's having to cover. It seems like he's having to cover D and C, but he shouldn't. What's going on? Because pink's still out. So. Maybe something, I don't know who their DC is, if it's a guy on the right, or it must be, because our guys on the right are now kind of going buck wild. So I think they lost one on the right, and yeah, there's just kind of an infantry horde in the woods on the left. I would nuke that shit in a heartbeat. If someone dropped a nuke on us here, it would have been GG. They would have gotten so many points out of it. So it's just something to consider if your opponent shows a nuke in their deck. Probably not play like this, where it's a big ring of fire around the nuke. The higher you go up, the more that nukes kind of appear. Like the 2300 games that I play, like there's a lot of nukes. But at this point, we've kind of taken it away from them, in my opinion. Again, the Arty, like we're seeding and Artying, dude. We don't need to be seeding and Artying at 7 minutes left. Like. Guy like Orange, he's pushing up infantry. He's fighting in an urban slog, and he's still holding his point, I think. But pink and yellow here, you gotta delete the Arty or use it to just saturate front lines. You can't be bombing backline. Shit, you need to be creating gaps in the defenses. And then here I lays the GLMRS. Don't manage to have enough points to deal with it, but pinging it in case anybody does, which they don't. And at this point, I'm pretty confident in my defense in terms of if we get pushed right. I've got a lot of units that are ready to kind of shoot at a moment's notice if we need to. There's a lot of CFEs right there. I want to try to mirror them because that would be a huge boon to us. But then my homeboy shows his death stack of Gru and whatever the fuck that is, the vampires, and that's a big juicy target for all this armor that he's got, so he's gonna go run at him. Call out the SU-57 again. It's got 2 laser guided bombs on it, so one there and then one on. I think it's a Brutus that's firing. Maybe it's a Paladin. It's got to be a Paladin, I think, because I think it does survive this bomb. So, but SU-57 kind of getting used like a F-35, and Coupling. So, got one of the GL Morusses that have been doing some damage to us all games. Would have liked to get the Paladin too, but it's fine. And at this point, I don't realize that my opponent, or my
Light green guy needs my help, but he does. He needs my help. But he's got an armored horde on his right. He needs my assistance to save him from, yeah, the Death's Lord, and he can't push his thermobarics across because the armored horde's on his right. So I bring the arena up, try to kill this Amphi, and then Amphi realizes he's not winning that fight, so he leaves. I'm scouting for my meteorite because I've got it pre-aimed on the point there. And I'm like, I might as well just shoot these CPs instead. So. Amphi shows himself again, don't know why. My Recon Razvek is going to just shoot at him. And then he's going to end up going here, yeah. Pull the Recon back. Fucking Bradley's move again. This time they're rushing the thermobaric guys, and I'm like, I gotta bring my tanks up to go help. But I also know that the Amphi dropped something on the right, so I don't want to run my tank straight up. Just to deal with that. First shot kills one of our Yevgenis. I feel bad. But he recognizes it. Second shot, dead on mark. And I'm apologizing to the team. Now the Bradleys try to show, but there's still a tank here. And then there's the death stack of Forcon and Mech Rifleman. So I'd send in all my spets, or all my guys to go deal with it. SFP2 seems to be rearming there, so maybe there's there's probably a supply depot most ways, but I don't think I'd take advantage of that. And then the weirdest thing happens. My Yevgeny and Forcon here, they just stare at each other while shooting at each other. Look at this. The Forcon's shooting at other shit, and it's still whittling me down. And my guy's like unable for some reason to do any damage. And I move him, and he gets bombed. And he gets bombed again. So he's double dead. They got him. They got him good. And I think I call an SU-34 and then realize there's nothing good to bomb. So we're gonna loiter it, and then I end up probably suiciding it, knowing me. So.
Yeah, this is kind of just a total domination. Again, Sentinel up, and so now I have to move everything, because I think they're just going to be point farming at the end of this, because they know there's no way to win. So, T-72Bs are going to twist out a little bit, and then Homeboy he's sending the Moto Pahoka down the line, and the BTRs and shows that we could have taken off at any time. So. Again, once they lose the last guy in the half of that, it doesn't become as fun. But I think that guy rage quit, and I don't think that was a DC. If that makes sense. IC-34 tries to kill 73 and gets snapped. So. I rage about it, but I know I shouldn't have done that. So. Guy asks for seed again. And he's nicking. So. And I turned my S300 on do not fire because it seems to be shooting off these supply depots. And if they're on friendly supply depots, I shouldn't be doing that. So. Seeds out, seeds seeding, nukes coming in. I don't know where. And I'm just staging my defense in case there's a final thrusting. But no, it's we've kicked all the steam out of them. So nuke here kills like we can actually.
If we skip back, click. Nope, it doesn't work, man. Oh man. Where are we at right now? 4154. I don't want to skip this back any further. Anyways, you get the idea. The nuke didn't kill like the most. You can rewind it yourself. We're at 2 and 2. And then I'm looking at this like, oh my goodness, the Tulpans. They're gonna get the perfect shot. And then he smokes up because he took a side shot to start. If I could get laser on that dude, that would have been peak. But unfortunately, did not. And so I'm content with just keeping everything back, not showing anything to lose any more units. Yeah, I don't know. My opponent just he couldn't fight us the way he wanted to, right? Sometimes that happens with this game, and I always take it like if I feel like I'm getting beat down, like what did I do in the game that made that happen, right? Because I can control at least 1/5 of my team's experience, and with this, you know, for better or for worse, yeah, 0.77 KD, not a lot of caps. We really didn't do a lot this game. Rozveka did okay. Planes did okay sometimes, but
we could have done better. But yeah, you know, sometimes if like on the enemy team, if you're doing that, you just got to reevaluate. I think I would have told them less Arty and more ground units, because I think that's what they needed to delodge us from the positions we had started ourselves in. But anyways, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching.